What if I told you that in just 21 days, you can rewire your entire identity? And I'm not just talking about getting rid of some old habits or putting in new ones. I'm talking about changing the version of yourself and sort of becoming a better version of yourself. Now, with my experience and with science, because I've been researching for this video, I have these 7 habits that if you stick with them will absolutely change your life. Now, you don't need, it's easy in this industry, and especially with self-improvement, constantly berated with, this video, this information, this person says don't do it, this person says it's oversaturated. What you need to do is block all of that out. Just focus on this video, because I'm not making these videos for bullshit or for fun or for clicks or anything. This is genuine science, and this is deep psychology. Like, this is rewiring your brain. So this is real shit. But if you focus on this video and none of the other extra noise, then I promise you will come out completely different within 21 days. A lot of people build habits or they add habits into their current routines, and then it usually falls apart. Now, whenever I say habits in 21 days, I don't mean in 21 days you're gonna stop, and I don't mean in 21 days it's gonna be easy or, it's guaranteed or any of this. But if you stay on this habit for 21 days, that is the gateway. It doesn't end there. In the next couple minutes of this video, I'm gonna go through these habits that are proven, that are scientifically proven to go deeper into your identity. Now, you clicked on this video because of the fantasy of changing quick within 21 days, correct? That's why most people fail, is because 21 days is not the end point, and it's not gonna change your life in 21 days. I'm sad to say, nothing will. But 21 days is perfect momentum to really tap into your deep identity, because your identity right now is not where you wanna be. Let's be real. You watch Instagram, you do all these, instant gratification actions. This isn't a part of your identity. There's something deeper, there's something more meaningful deep down. And that's exactly what these habits will do. The first habit I have for you, and that I do myself, is I carve out the first hour of whenever I wake up. And I call this the morning hour, or the morning vision hour, or reflection hour, or whatever you want to call it. But essentially, an hour as soon as you wake up, carved out. No stimulation, no phones, no nothing. Just you and your brain. And then you're going to kind of manifest to yourself. Who do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish today? Who are you? All these questions. And you're probably like, oh, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. You know how strong the brain is, okay? You know how strong the brain and psychology is, because your brain has made you do this bad habit over 1,000 times. So clearly your brain has some control over you. So why not kind of essentially tell your brain where you want to go and kind of get your brain back on the good side, on your good side. And the real power with this is whenever you get really specific in your goals and you constantly affirm yourself in your brain starts to rewire. And it starts to rewire around these goals and these manifestations that you're giving it. And that's where the real beauty lies in this. And this isn't daydreaming or in La La Land or in Fantasy Land or any of this. This is what I like to call priming. You're essentially training your subconscious to default to that manifestation or to that dream or to whatever. You default to that identity. So every decision you start making in your day-to-day life, which if you think about it, we have a lot of decisions to make every single day. You'll slowly start aligning these decisions towards your manifestations and your dreams or your goals or whatever you're thinking about. And if you don't believe me, I don't have anything to sell for you. I don't have a course for you or a community or anything. But if you don't believe me, next morning, whenever you wake up, make sure it's in the morning, but a full hour, no stimulation, no nothing, just think to yourself and just go deep inside of your brain and kind of try to carve out that identity and that deep brain thinking. And you're going to be surprised on how sharp you are. There's barely any fog. There's barely any urges to go check your phone or to do any of this. It's just calm. It's just essentially like at an ocean, just calm waters. The second habit is declaring your identity. So what do I mean by this? Take a piece of paper, write, I am becoming blank. I am becoming blank. And then put in what you want to become, what you're becoming. Not what you want to do or how you want to make your money or your business model. Who are you becoming? And then put it up on your wall. Read it every single day, every morning, every night before bed, whenever. But you need to embody, and you kind of need to obsess over this. And then the real magic, is that we're going to assign our 3 daily tasks or habits, which we will talk about later in this video, but we will assign these 3 daily habits, daily tasks around who you are becoming or what you're becoming. Now, whenever you act as if this identity is real already, your brain doesn't fight you. It sort of actually aligns to this identity. Your identity is essentially what your subconscious thinks of you, not your brain or your mind. It's what your subconscious thinks you are. Now, the power of identity, I believe, is stronger than goals. Okay, because if you think about it, if you're trying to quit alcohol, quit drinking, and you go to a party, it's just hypotheticals, but you go to a party and someone asks you, there's 2 versions of you. One version who says, oh, no thank you, I'm trying to stop drinking more. And then the other version who's, I'm not a drinker. If they go to the party and both of them get offered beer or alcohol, and they say that, which one do you think is going to be more likely to give in and then go crazy for the rest of the night? It's the one that's not set stone in its own identity. So the version of you that isn't set stone, that no, I don't drink. Sorry, I don't drink, I'm not a drinker. Rather than the, maybe I'm trying to quit alcohol, but it's been hard. Which one do you think is more set stone in their own identity? Now, habit 3, every single day, write down 3 habits that directly align with whatever you've written down. So I am becoming blank. It's different for everyone. Whatever you are becoming, write 3 tasks that will absolutely get you to what you're becoming. Not just busy work, this isn't take out your trash or meditate time. This is 3 genuine tasks that'll help you become whatever you're becoming. For me, example, YouTube. What is one main task? What is the main task for me? It'd be recording. Okay, it's not cleaning my room or, doing any of this, which those are great. But whenever it comes to these 3 key tasks, this is where it's got to be. Because whenever there's essentially more high impact tasks and there's less of them, your brain gets more of a hit for completing them. And honestly, it feels better completing them rather than having 25 different things listed out that are like all little tiny impact tasks, because your brain just gets overwhelmed. The 4th habit is deep work time blocks or deep work sprints or whatever. But essentially, the first couple habits were sort of forming our identity and reflecting and kind of building our identity. And now these habits are us actually taking action, but it's easy to take action. So we're actually taking action on the actions that actually work. I know it's a whole lot of bullshit that just came out of my mouth, but the actions that are actually going to take you to what you're becoming rather than the actions of, just staying busy. Pick your top goal right now, not your top action habit for the day or whatever. Your top goal, for 3 months, 6 months. What is your number 1 goal then? For 90 minutes, work strictly towards that goal. What will help that goal? If you hit this goal, it'll absolutely change everything for you. And then 90 minutes a day on that. No emails, no texts, no Instagram, no YouTube, just 90-minute block. And neuroscience literally backs this. And I wrote this down in a study. You can literally look it up. I have no reason to lie to you. But whenever you're in these deep 90-minute work sessions, your prefrontal cortex is literally more active, which means it's easier for you to tap in to these deep work sessions and get more done efficiently, rather than if you're just scattered hours, you're just doing whatever you feel like it or whenever you have time because you're doing all this busy shit. Habit 5, remove 1 key distractor that is stopping your progress or slowing you down. It could be anything, social media, late night gaming, anything like that. Removing that 1 distraction will not only help you get more work done, it'll help you free up sort of mental storage in your head. Because it's not always about adding 10 different habits, to be more efficient. It's about taking away the bad stuff that's pulling you down. And I have something written down from The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and it's Law 32. And that says, by cutting out what's putting you down, you free up energy for the fantasy that you want to become. And that is absolutely true, because it's not always about adding, it's about subtracting. And that's exactly what this habit is doing. This is our subtraction. Now, what I'm cutting out, personally, I'm cutting out all social medias, because I noticed that social medias were sort of my biggest thing or distraction that was pulling me down. And it was stopping my efficiency, and it was stopping my mental. Comparing yourself to others, or I realized that I needed to cut that out to sort of get to the next level. Habit 6, this is your daily reset. So at the end of the night, ask yourself these 3 questions. This only takes 5 minutes. What did I win today? What wins did I get today? What happened today that didn't go into my favor or didn't go the way I intended or wanted to? And then what's one thing that will be done differently tomorrow? That's all it takes. Ask yourself those every single night. This habit is essentially like journaling. It is journaling in a form, because it takes the thoughts in your brain and then it puts it on a piece of paper or away, so that you don't have to go to sleep with, the burdens of today or of the previous day. It's all on the paper. And then this is whenever you're really internally changing your identity. And this is a very important step. No one's going to be there to essentially reflect for us. So at the end of the night, we have to do the uncomfortable thing of reflecting and holding ourselves accountable. Habit 7, and this is helping reinforce your belief system. And it starts with changing your environment and surrounding yourself with triggers of your new identity. So not your old identity, but who you're becoming. Whether it's watching YouTube videos of who you want to become or why you want to become them, or reading a powerful book. Now, I also wrote down something from the 48 Laws of Power, which I think you guys would enjoy. Definitely read that book if you haven't, it's very powerful. But I wrote down Law 27 and 32. They actually meet and come together for what I'm saying. And it says you're reinforcing not just who you want to become, but why it matters. You're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy through repeated internal broadcast. So it's a lot more than just sort of in fantasy land or, daydreaming. It does more to your brain than you could ever imagine. So do not skip this habit. Every habit plays a role. The more you feed this belief network inside of yourself with your new identity, the less room there is for doubt, outside noise to disturb it and ruin it. And that's essentially how repeated affirmations and actually believing who you want to become can actually manifest itself. So those are the 7 habits that I use in my life that have been actively helping me and changing my life, that I think you guys could find great value in using. This is a system, all the habits, and they all play into each other. So don't skip any habits. But if you do stay consistent on the 21 days, then that is absolutely a fantastic starting point. It's not the end, it's just a start. There's a lot more to get to. Self-improvement doesn't just end whenever you become rich. Self-improvement's deeper than that. But I invite you to join the 21 days. I'm going to continue doing this system in my life. And I just ask that you guys, if you've made it this far, comment one thing you're going to take out of your life, why you're doing this, the distractions, because you're better off without it. Let's be real. And just let me know anything you guys are struggling with.